Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 143. Wait, no, 174. Episode 143 was months ago. Why did that number just come out of my mouth? That was so bizarre. Welcome to episode 174 of Shacknews Presents Pop Goes the Culture. I'm Donovan Erskine, news editor here at Shacknews, and I'm joined as always by Greg Burke, our illustrious head of video. Greg, how's it going on this fine Thursday afternoon
Good.
over there
Sorry,
in sunny California?
for some reason Twitch is like not lining up our stuff even though it's correct in OBS. So this is weird.
Oh, we're off center. It's like we
Yeah,
got
but you're
punched.
not. But you shouldn't be is the thing. It's showing correct centering on you. So that's
Interesting,
weird. If I
interesting.
delete this and come back to it, maybe that's. Well, no, it's just being weird.
Right, right. Oh yeah, we
Sure,
got a lot going on there.
sure. Okay, I guess I'll just move this until we're lined up because it's there's nothing. It's some kind of error on. There we go. Because now you're really big on the correct side, so we'll see what happens.
I love Twitch. Uh, well, Greg, how are you doing on this fine Thursday afternoon
Good, nothing
over
shows the
there in
passage
sunny
of time like
California?
our show. And you're like, oh, it's Thursday. I still have so
Yeah,
much to do.
yeah. We didn't have an episode last week because I was in New York City for New York Comic Con, which was a lot of fun. Always a good time. It was my very first convention I ever went to. Was New York Comic Con 9 years ago in 2016, and
We only went for
that was
one
kind
day,
of
then
a
pieced out. Like I was like, I think you were there for a day, and did you come back the next day and do nothing, just one day?
I usually only go for a day. When I first started, it was because I was in college and I couldn't afford a New York City hotel. So the cheapest thing was to just take a bus up in the morning and then take a bus home at night. Um, and then just try to see as much as I possibly could in one day. But, you know, this time I was still also just there for a day. But I wanted to do some appointments. I got to see the show floor just a little bit, and there were a lot of announcements. We'll cover some of the stuff that they announced later in the show. But Greg, there was a pretty big announcement that came
I
out
thought you were at
last week, I
European
believe.
next day. I was like, no, European Con. Are you
Oh
allowed to say
hell
what you were
no.
there for? Or is there an embargo?
I can say that I played the ROG Xbox Ally because that embargo passed. Um, there's something I can't say. I saw a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons stuff that I still need to send video to you and Dasa for, which I just remembered as you asked me. Um, which was all fun. And then I saw some Scuff controllers that I think I can talk about. And if not, let's hope the Scuff people don't watch Pop Goes the Culture. But
I thought there were. I thought Square had something going on there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I don't know what I'm talking about either.
No, that doesn't ring any bells for me. But what does ring bells for me is a Minecraft movie, which did quite well, Greg, earlier this year. You'll remember releases from 2025, a movie we talked about on at least a few episodes of this show. Brace yourself. It's getting a sequel. Can you say Chicken Jock Egg? Because Warner Bros. Has dated a Minecraft movie 2 for July 23rd, 2027. Now, if that date sounds familiar, it's because that's the same day that a Simpsons movie 2 is coming out. So get ready, Greg. We're gonna get Simpsons Minecraft Weekend. Which one are you punching your ticket for? Ah.
Neither, but I'm looking forward to the Minecraft movie because like one thing studios never seem to understand. You mentioned this is like when something's
Looking forward
memeable, they
to it.
really like to capitalize as much as they can, but they definitely don't understand what it is. And when you try to do it purposely, it always fails. So
Yeah.
looking forward
I
to them.
mean,
Like we're gonna have so many memes in this movie. Like all the white executives, like we're gonna have so many memes, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna make 10 times the amount. And like it's gonna, I'm kind of hoping it falls through the floor and just dies.
the movie's gonna have like 7 references to like Chicken Jockey. They're gonna like go back
Yeah,
and do all those jokes again for sure
yeah.
because now they're viral. Um, I mean, obviously, I don't think it'll be good, but I don't know though, dude. I feel like Minecraft is too big of an IP to like flop per se. Like, it might not make 1.2 billion, whatever the final box office was for this, but like, I think this movie makes money no matter what it is. I think Minecraft will be way too big. But this is a no-brainer, obviously. I think it's still the highest grossing movie of the year. It's like 1.3 billion, I think, maybe somewhere in that neighborhood. Came out in like April. Of course they're gonna make another one. It's massive IP. Massive, massive,
Yeah, I
massive.
went like 3 years. They said 3 years. Movie came out last year, right?
That was this year.
This year, so wow, okay, 2 years.
Was That was like April, spring, the spring, yeah, yeah. So you're gonna get a Minecraft movie too. Now we don't have any casting announcements. They haven't confirmed whether or not we'll get Jack Black returning as Steve. Hey, if this is a Minecraft movie too, give me Alex. The also iconic female protagonist for Minecraft. Give us some Alex in here. That is, unless Alex is in the first one. I never saw the movie, so maybe Alex
There's
is
no way
already
you
in
cast
this.
Alex, dude. Have you the target demographic
Because
is boys ages like 8 to 17. You're not casting a female. Like even the original
they love
cast, it was like
people love
four guys to
Alex.
one girl. Like it was not equal at all in this movie.
Because Alex can be in there too. Girls like Minecraft.
Sure,
Minecraft dominates like every demographic. Anyone can play Minecraft. You play Minecraft at old folks' home. And people know Alex. She's recognizable. They put her in Smash. When you go to change your skin for Steve, the first option is Alex. We uh we know Alex. We love Alex. But what will this movie be? I don't know. It's probably still gonna look ugly as all hell. But I do think it's an interesting conversation to have because this year, Greg, I don't know if you realize, but like Warner Brothers um has had an insane year for movies. And I mean that in terms of quality, depending on your opinion, of course, and then box office, more importantly, right? So Minecraft movie is the highest grossing movie of the year. They also distributed and produced Sinners, which is to me still the best movie of the year and made a shit ton of money. Superman, because DC is Warner Brothers, which made hundreds of millions of dollars. Final Destination, Bloodlines, which is the highest grossing movie in that series. I think it's the highest rated or highest earning rated R movie this year. Weapons, this is a great R-rated horror movie. Like they've put out like a lot of the biggest movies, whether you're talking about like critical reception or financial. And it's interesting one because WB has one of the worst reputations in film right now, so it's kind of ironic that people are like they're ruining movies with it. They just very like casually put out a lot of the best stuff this year. But also, I think that we have this interesting push and pull in the movie business, right, Greg, where it comes to like the business side versus the creative side, right? Where it's like I all the time will come in here and talk about movies that I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is so phenomenal. And then it'll make like $10 at the box office. It won't do well. It'll lose money. It's not profitable. And I think it's so interesting with Warner Brothers and Minecraft, right? Because Minecraft made a shit ton of money. Obviously, all the like adults hated it. People like got tired of it, and whatever, didn't like the memes and stuff. But in a way, I almost look at a movie like Minecraft, Greg, as like a necessary evil, because I like a lot of smaller independent movies. Like Warner Brothers produced a movie I'm going to review later called One Battle After Another. It's the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie. Got Leonardo DiCaprio in it. Phenomenal movie. I think it's one of the best movies of the year. One of the best movies of the last few years. And it's going to lose like 80, 90, $100 million at the box office because it costs a lot to make and it didn't have wide appeal because it wasn't like a big franchise thing. And I just saw somebody bring up an interesting point where it's like movies like that should be allowed to exist, even if they don't make a lot of money. When they come from the same studio that puts out a movie that generates like $900 billion, not billion, $900 million in like profit margins, right? Like a Minecraft movie almost cancels out like three or four, not independent, but like smaller, lower budget movies. So I know I think it's an interesting conversation because I know when these movies get announced, we're like, oh, boo, fuck this. Why are you making more? I hate Minecraft. So stupid. Don't put that out. But I do wonder if they serve like a purpose in our ecosystem. You know how people are like, don't kill spiders. They're the reason, they get rid of flies and stuff in your house. It's like maybe they have to exist in some form.
talked about balance, right? And that's the thing. And the thing is, especially now, I think studios are movies. It's not that they're easy to make. They're not easy to make, but I think it's become more accessible to do certain things in movies. Like 2 year turnaround for a movie like the Minecraft is insane. Like when you look at other movies of like you know what I mean? Like there was a 4 year gap between Ghostbusters, 5 year gap between Ghostbusters 1 and 2. There was a 4 year gap between Batman and Batman Returns. Now there's a 2 year gap. We got like three Sonic movies in 5 years. Like that's, I mean, you can do these
I think that's just the
faster.
filmmaking process being streamlined, though, because
Yeah,
those are
you
like
can do it
80s movies you're
faster.
naming.
It's so it's not easy is the wrong word, but fast is the good. Here's the thing: like whenever you're making a movie, whether you're WB, Universal, Fox, or whatever, you're it's an investment. You're risking stuff. You know, you're betting on yourself. Okay, we're gonna do this. Here's the projections. Here's the market. This is the business side of it, right? Like, you know, how much is the movie going to cost to make? It's going to be $150 million. Okay, if we bring in this person, he guarantees that much. What's the genre? What's the age demographic? Okay, then there's people in the financial district that have algorithms and procedures that tell you how much an estimated movie will make in its theoretical run to see if it's worth the investment. But that's what it is, though. It's a guess. It's an estimate. It's a we're saying with all these factors
Sure.
here. So like when you do stuff like you said, when you do stuff like Minecraft, a sequel, and it's less than 2 years after the first one came out, and if you have Jack Black in it again, it's a high guarantee return. You know, it's kind of like saying it would be like you betting on the Pokemon game selling lots of copies. It's pretty safe, right? Like it would take an act of like a huge act of God for that for ZA to just bomb and sell, you know, 500,000 units instead of 20 million or whatever they'll eventually
Mhm.
sell 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, whatever. uh so it's a risk, it's a risk assessment, right? And you're right, it is balanced because like this is the safe bet, and the other movie with Leonardo DiCaprio is the risk, right?
Right.
So there's this
Yeah.
constant game of just that in the studio system. But I for one, and then sometimes the for sure thing just misses. Like Zack Snyder's superhero thing should have been like a for sure thing, but I think that it tanked. It wasn't, people didn't like it, audiences didn't like it, the majority of people didn't like it. Cost a lot of money. It was supposed to be this. When the safe thing fails, I think that's when studios start to panic because they don't know what they're doing anymore. And like you're back to the days of the 80s and 90s where like if Spielberg was attached or Zemeckis was attached or whatever, you know, you knew that it was probably going to make money just because they're household names. Household names the big one, the biggest thing. The more household names you have in a movie, the more people are you know are like say you don't like Minecraft but you like Jack Black. You know what the Minecraft movie is, right? That's the whole thing. Isn't the actress from Peacemaker in this too?
Daniel Brooks, yes,
Yeah,
she's
I
in the
mean, like it's
Minecraft
the thing,
movie.
like these people are now household names. Uh,
Mhm. I mean, I feel like in Minecraft's case, like Minecraft is the household name. I
yeah,
feel like Minecraft's bigger than Jack Black or anyone that's in that movie.
no, you're right.
That's, you know,
But like when you look at the Mario movie, right? Like my parents know what Mario Brothers is, but they might not know what the movie is, right? They may know it's a game and like that's it, but they know who Chris Pratt is. So you put Chris Pratt in
right.
there, and that helps. That helps with the dynamics of the movie and how to market it. That's marketing and all this other weird shit. But no, it's
Mhm.
it's a balance, man. Like I think I feel like it's fair for every one $250 million budget movie you make and you make $1 billion off of, the studio should be allowed to do three smaller ones at a quarter of the budget. But the problem is that with that Leo movie, like it's not. You need to do smaller budgets with movies like that. You know what I mean? Like you can't make $150 movie with Scorsese and have it make 4 million at the box office. Didn't the Rock's movie like flop really bad
I
too?
feel like
Like
you should though.
you
Maybe
can't.
that's a bad take, but I feel like you should.
Well, like I'm just saying, I'm
I don't
saying
know.
it doesn't. I'm saying like it doesn't always like. Remember, money never it doesn't it actually like equivalent quality in a film, right? It just doesn't. It just
Yeah.
means it made money at the box office, right?
I
Film
just
will
I
film
feel
will and
like
will always be subjective. But like I feel like even those side movies are too much, and I feel like especially the veteran directors, like they just don't know how to do things on a small budget anymore. They just don't because you get used to as you grow. This budget becomes normal, and I couldn't possibly do it for anything less than 100 million. When there are horror movies, Donovan, like you said, making hundreds of millions of dollars on like a $25 million budget. You know, like it's crazy.
I, I just feel like our most talented filmmakers, at the end of the day, it's like an art form. I feel like the most talented artists should be able to get access to a wide variety of resources and tools if they have a cool vision to try and to see through. Like, right, Paul Thomas Anderson, right? This is a guy who made There Will Be Blood, Punch Drunk Love, Boogie Nights. Like, he is like one of the best living directors. And I think if he wants to spend $150 million of Warner Brothers money to make like this epic that he's been writing or that he based off this Thomas Pynchon novel or whatever. I think they should just give it to him. I think Warner Brothers is worth billions of dollars, and they just made a movie that made 1.3 billion. I think he should be able to do that. I don't think they should be like, sorry, PTA, you need to make that movie for $30 million instead, and compromise your vision. I don't know. It's like if you were like Van Gogh, like, all right, what if we took away like all the like primary colors from like your paint thing, and now you had to like use like turquoise and fucking rosado and make something cool instead. Um, I don't know.
Well,
I think
it
that
should be talk about that in the box thinking all the time, though, right? Like that, my vision has to be $100 million. Now you have to do it with what you can do it, but you gotta do it for 25 million. Okay, now we got to think about how we're gonna make this work. It challenges an artist, I think. Um,
sometimes, but I don't think every artist needs that challenge. Because I've seen this movie. This movie's phenomenal. It's better than most movies that came out in the last 3 or 4 years. And it's going to lose like 30, $40 million. But there's nothing that should have been compromised about it. It was perfectly done. It was a great movie. But it's not like a saga thing or a franchise, so it's just not going to have
yeah,
that
you're
appeal.
also in like a weird area right now with cinema in general, with movie theaters and streaming and on demand, and like these things are all, what I mean? Like it's much more complicated than it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. The life in between movies, which was like there were a ton of movies that flopped in the theaters that made their money back on DVD and VHS. Because like like people
Yeah.
not and people went to the movies or they missed it or whatever. Then when it comes out on VHS, Austin Powers is a good example. That movie tanked in the theater and then found a second life on VHS and DVD, and that's why you got two other
Mhm.
sequels, right? And but I feel like that section specifically, DVD and HD, like that's gone. So it's like you have your theater release and your streaming, that's it. So that has been pulled out of the
Yeah.
formula. So you don't get to make that money anymore. Or maybe if it is, it's a small fraction, right? You still have like the on digital stuff. People can rent them on Amazon, but I still feel like that's a small factor than what it used to be. And people just would rather than pay. Wait, I think Beetlejuice was like $25 when I rented it or something. And I was like, okay, like
Mm.
we should have just waited till it came out on
Max
streaming.
or HBO Max now. It's been
Yeah,
rebranded
yeah.
again.
So I
Yeah.
mean, it is a different environment, right? And maybe that just requires a different viewpoint. But the problem is, these people running the studios are old as fuck, so they don't
Yes.
understand why numbers not going up. So it's very confusing. Warner Brothers
Yeah.
especially has been like, it only takes a few movies to like put you in danger zone, right? A few like blockbuster movies not doing well that can put you on the in the red. That can be really bad for
Yeah.
a studio, and then you're cutting cost
I mean,
everywhere
they're
else.
talking about WB getting bought out, so we'll
Yeah,
see.
so like that's dangerous, right? So like it doesn't like you're right, they have billions of dollars to spend, sure, but it can be very it's like most of these studios are like 4 or 5 movies away from just going under. You know what I mean? You have 4 gigantic movies that all flop. That's danger zone. Now you're in big trouble. Now you have to sell IP and do all this other stuff to stay afloat or ask the government for a loan or
Mhm.
a merger or something. It's very it's not as lucrative I think as most people think it is.
Okay, speaking of actors being attached to IP and how that drives people to the theaters, I'm going to pair an actor and an IP with you right now. Jim Carrey and the Jetsons. Uh, Speaking of Warner Brothers Pictures, Warner Brothers is apparently working, or not working on, their artists working on it, but they're going to produce a Jetsons live action movie, Greg, starring none other than Jim Carrey himself, the man who a few years ago retired from acting but came back to reprise his role as Dr. Robotnik in the Sonic the Hedgehog films, and will now assumably be uh what's the name of the dad in the Jetsons? I don't remember. But this just
Mr.
came out
Mr.
yesterday.
Jetson.
They never named it like Jeff Jetson or something. Either way, my mom loves the show. My mom loved the Jetsons. That's the only reason I know what it is growing up. She loved the Jetsons and the Flintstones. But apparently Jim Carrey's going to do a Jetsons movie, and it's going to be directed by Colin Trevorrow, which is the guy who brought you Jurassic World and some other stuff he's done. But Greg, are you excited for a Jim Carrey Jetsons movie in the 2020s? Somebody was like, "This seems like a 90s headline."
I mean, I don't know. Like the thing is, like, part of me wants to just trash it and be like, why? But at the same time, though, like when the Flintstones movie came out,
It the Jetsons.
when the Flintstones movie came out, like that movie wasn't actually bad. It had like good throwbacks to the show, is great production design, actors gave it their all, story was corporate espionage. It was like a really interesting film. They did a really good job with it. And if you've never if you've never seen the original Flintstones one, with Rick Moranis and oh god, why can I not remember his name now, from
Yeah, I've
Roseanne. And
seen bits and pieces of that way back in the day.
Donovan saw it like a normal, like a normal young person in little snippets in vertical video and 21-minute
Yeah,
clips out of context.
that was that was definitely a thing 15 years ago when I was a
Donovan's like, I
teenager.
feel
Like, oh,
taxed.
yeah. No.
No, yeah, I mean, like, I don't want to drag on it because like that movie was actually very like it was actually really well produced and really well made. And frankly, so I mean, maybe this one will be the same thing. I mean, Jim Carrey like came off of the Sonic movies. Arguably, I think he carried those movies with his performance, and it also
He's great
didn't
in
like
them.
decades since we saw funny Jim Carrey. You know what I mean? Like, Jim Carrey doing his Jim Carrey thing, who's proved himself as an actor time and again. I actually know a lot about his history and his upbringing and his career and his a very interesting life. But like, yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to dog on it. It might be good. Who knows? But like, but too, like Flintstones it has a very '90s vibe. If you watch it, there's a little digital effects, not much, but a lot of it's like practical sets, props, and feel like I feel like that's kind of an anomaly now. Like you still get it, but not nearly as much. So like, if this whole movie is just him in front of a green screen, I'll probably check out because that's boring. Give me tactile sets and props. Like look at some of you've seen the props
Right.
at Universal. They still have some of the Flintstone cars, you know?
They do. I've seen it. I've gone on the tour
Yeah.
and looked at the car. Yeah, where they drive you
The
past
production
it.
design of that movie is
Yeah.
stellar. And so I hope they go that way because it just adds a sense of it. Yeah, it dates it a little bit, but it does look interesting. Because like, those movies made in 2015 and 2019, they start to look if you use heavy visual effects, they'll start to look dated too eventually. I don't think they're quite there yet, but they'll start to look that way in another 10 years, I think. Have their own look,
Right.
right? Their own like, because everyone says like, oh, like I used to say, I can't believe the 2000s gets screwed. The 2000s doesn't really have an identity, and the older I get, the more of identity I see it has. I was like, oh, it did have an identity. You just don't realize it
Hmm.
until there's like a 20-year gap, and you're like, okay, there you go. So I don't know. I mean, Jim Carrey's the big thing, but here's the stupid thing. It's like in talks, like, can we just like get some like confirmation? Is this whole like this is just gossip at this point. Like there's no information here other than
Well,
oh he
no,
might be thinking
I mean
about doing a live action, maybe, possibly. We don't know, but look, it's right here.
that's just the language that no, this is the confirmation, Greg. That's just the language they use in Hollywood reporting. In talks is like same thing when we write an article. Like Jason Schreier is like, "Hey, this studio laid off 21 employees." Whenever we write our headline, we say, "Hey, this studio reportedly laid off 21
Okay, so
employees."
it's
It's not like God, like we know it happened. We just it's like a disclaimer. You say reported because until the studio says it and tells us, nothing's official, right? The Hollywood Reporter obviously has been told by some WB exec quietly that this is happening, or an agent, Jim Carrey's agent, Colin Trevorrow's agent, whoever. Um, it's as good as confirmed. It's similar to how we read some stuff. It's
John
how they
Goodman
do their news.
was his name. Thank
John
you,
Goodman, yeah,
TJ.
TJ, yeah, he's great. Loved him. Loved him in Monsters Inc. Yeah, this is interesting. I think the Jetsons the Jetsons of all IP, where I'm like, this is like a movie that should have been made 30 years ago. What have they done with the Jet? Has the Jetsons IP been touched in the 21st century? Like unironically at all?
No,
Like
Hannibal.
has there been a revival, a special, anything
So the
since the
interesting thing
90s?
about Hanna-Barbera is like they were really big in the 60s, 70s, right? Like starting to come out. And then like in the 80s and 90s they started to teeter out. And when I worked at Warner Brothers Animation, like a lot of that stuff was just in the early 90s they just cut a lot of it off. They just stopped with the IP. They didn't do a lot with it in terms of animation. They did some crossover stuff, some specials. I think they tried to reboot it a few times, but they just kind of moved on, right? It was a new time for animation, right? They were doing the Batman, the Academy Award series, Batman Animated Adventures came out, then they did Superman, then Bruce Timm did all these other shows. Spielberg kind of came in and like revitalized whole animation. So Hanna-Barbera was kind of on its way out already. Animation was essentially kind of dying, and then Spielberg came in the 90s and with an influx of money and said, "Do all this stuff, Animaniacs, like all these cartoons that I grew up with, do not happen without Spielberg's influx of money." But also, the second he left, they shut everything down.
Respect the goat.
So they were like, "Oh, cool, money's gone. All right, later. See you later."
Yeah. Um, Doing some very quick research here. The Jetsons' imprint on the 21st century is essentially a comic book run from 2018 that lasted 6 issues under DC Comics. Um, and they've appeared on Family Guy 3 times. And
Yeah,
they
that's
had
right.
a
As a parody.
cameo.
That's right.
Yeah, they had a cameo in 2021 Space Jam and Legacy. They were in one of those scenes where people are running around. So yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like we talk about on the show where we're like up the studio's like digging in the IP chest. Somebody's like, man, what do we have that we haven't touched in 25 years? And it's like the Jetsons question mark? Has anybody done the Jetsons? Yeah, which there you
it
go.
it
The
might be
Jetsons.
that thing where like because remember if you don't make something with an IP after a segmented amount of time, I think it's 25 years. Like if you don't do
Oh, do
something
you think
with
they're,
it,
they're trying to keep the Jetsons
yeah,
IP
you have
alive?
to have the rights go up to auction. So you can't just sit on an IP indefinitely, right? So like that might be the case. They
Would
have to.
anybody notice? Would anybody notice? What if Warner Brothers lost the copy or the rights for the Jetsons? Would anyone notice? I'm sorry, that's a
Well,
joke.
that's
Obviously,
that's
people would
that's the
notice,
question, right? Like, do we care
but
about
they're
this
not.
IP? Do we like? Do we want to sell it off? Like, probably like the conversations in those rooms to be a fly on the wall. We have to be fascinating. But if we lose it, what if Disney buys it and they turn it into $1 billion franchise? Like, they have to think about the things they could potentially lose with the license, right? And
Yeah.
all the things they could do, the
Well,
merchandise and everything. What if it takes off? Like, it's not going to
I'll
take
ask my
off.
mom if
We've
she
seen
cares
Tron.
about
It's not
this.
working. Like, it's not. But like, I think they might have to. They might have to make it. Like, I think that's the
It could take
situation.
off.
Yeah.
It could take off. This could be a $500 million movie at the box office, and this could change the world. Anything's possible.
I mean, you get Jim
I'll ask
Carrey
my
in
mom what
there.
she thinks. She loves Jetsons.
Jim Carrey's attached.
Jim
People love
Carrey,
Jim Carrey
yeah.
right now. People love a comeback. You know what I mean? Like that's a big name to put on a movie, right? That'll get people in the theaters alone. If you don't know who the Jetsons are, you see Jim Carrey, my nephew would be like, "Oh, Sonic movie," and just go to see it because Jim Carrey, right? That's the idea of a headliner.
I will be wildly shocked if your nephew goes to see the Jetsons movie in theaters. But maybe this could be the one, Greg. This could
You're
make the Jetsons a mainstream MCU tier IP again.
you're underestimating the attention span of how much free time a 17-year-old has, and if they want to go to the movie, they'll just go and see anything.
That's also true. That's also true as a teenager. Yeah, you do go and just do random bullshit. Um, yeah. We'll see. We'll talk about the Jetsons movie more as more information becomes available. In the meantime, I want to remind folks to follow the stream, hit the notification bell so that you're made aware every single time we go live here in the Shacknews Twitch channel, which is almost every day of the week because Mondays we do Indie with TJ Denzer. TJ's actually doing a lab stream, I believe, after Pop Goes the Culture concludes around 6 p.m. Eastern. Of course, we've got plenty of special Shack streams going on. Just a lot of live streaming content over here on the Shack News Twitch channel that you just don't want to miss. But we're also everywhere else on the internet. Go to twitter.com. Wait, I mean x.com, the everything app. And you can follow Shack News there. We're on Instagram, Shack News Media, Facebook, Shack News. Go to YouTube, type in Shack News. You'll find a few different YouTube channels, one of which has a bunch of Pokemon footage that's getting thousands of views.
Tens
How's
of
YouTube going, Greg?
we could say tens of thousands now because it is.
Oh, really? I haven't checked in. Okay.
Doing good
How's
on
the
YouTube in the wides because we got it up soon.
I mean, we love a good wide, you know. Some people they don't like the wides, but we love the wides.
Dude, all the questions too
Um,
have been great. They've been like, "Where did you get Stone? Show us all the hair. Where did you get that Pokemon? How early do you get Charmander? What's going on? Where am I?"
the people have questions and they
People
demand answers.
several questions. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot to wonder with these new Pokemon games, or this new Pokemon game, I should say. But yes, please check us out, support us. We all work very hard here behind the scenes to make it all happen, and we appreciate anybody for stopping by and looking at any of it. Thank you. Greg, we have a somber
Tell
story
me.
for story number 3, but I want it to be a fun story because we're going to do some looking back at the incredible work of Drew Struzan, which, if you don't know that name, I could promise you, I could bet everything that I own, which isn't much, but I'd still bet it, that you have seen his work and that you probably admire his work. He was a poster artist. He passed away this week at 78 years old. But this is the guy who pretty much like defined an era, Greg, of movie promotion. I'm talking Back to the Future, Indiana Jones, the entire Star Wars trilogy, all those cool posters. Back when floating heads actually looked cool on posters when they were hand drawn, that was this dude, man, Drew Struzan. All the way up to like Harry Potter, that iconic Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone poster if you're British. Their heads over the castle, like that was all him by hand, influential. I would argue he's the reason that movie posters still look the way they do, and why every time there's a big Star Wars or Marvel movie, they do the floating heads thing because he kind of created that model. And I mean, what can be said about the Back to the Future poster? Probably just a top 3 movie poster ever made. He passed away this week, but goddamn, what a career for an artist to have in the movie business, I think.
Man, that's an interview that I would have loved to done. That would have been a cool interview to find out the process of
Yeah, I bet.
the evolution of just
Mhm,
painting and Photoshop programs and how that affected his work and how long it would take him start to finish to do one. And I do believe in
mhm.
one of there's a Stephen King adaptation where like one of their God, what's it called? I think it's the fog. With the one with the fog, where not the fog. What's the one where like the
The
things
Mist.
the mist.
The
Yeah,
Mist.
where like they have all his posters because like the guy plays a guy who makes posters and he's making the thing poster in the miniseries in the movie or something like that in his basement. It's like a
Huh.
callback to him, which is kind of cool to Drew.
While you're talking, Greg, can I just DM you a link? It's like a full gallery of his poster work. I just kind of want to scroll through this while we talk.
Yes.
I know they got a few in the article, but there's way more here that even I forgot. Like the Goonies, The Thing, the poster for The Thing is so fucking good.
I really hope he
I
was
never knew.
financially compensated well for this stuff because I know artists sometimes get short end of the stick when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah,
And what a time to bring him up too with like this generation of like AI like coming into like this
yeah,
crazy.
where
It's
everybody wants
absolutely
to make like
nuts.
fake pictures. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure his art has probably been scraped all to shit by AI software at this point. But I mean, you just go through these, and it's just phenomenal, phenomenal work. Very admirable. I mean, the Adventures in Babysitting poster is so cool. Um, I love seeing the like alternate versions of a lot of these too that I never really knew existed. But excellent. The Revenge of the Jedi one, I remember liking that poster when I was younger. The misused or unused title for Return of the Jedi before they renamed it. But R.I.P. Drew Struzan, man, what a fucking career. What a life.
I wonder,
That's very cool.
how much. There's got that information's got to be out there somewhere, like how much you charge to commission something at this level, right? And if he does. I know he drew it, but did he also paint it and color it? Did he get a different color, like that kind of stuff? Like, did he do the font too? Like, it's interesting. I always like that. These are the nitty gritty details that I have the questions of. Because
Hmm.
usually what you do is you do like a full like this one right here. You do this full page. You do like a full picture, right? And then you use that becomes key art, and then you use that same art everywhere. So he's not making like this poster and this poster. He's doing the art in the background, and they use that key art to put it everywhere else. So he only has to do
Yeah.
it once and not several times. That's the whole point.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of this was back in like the 80s, 70s, 90s. So who knows? I do want to read a couple quotes here because a lot of people had comments. Spielberg once called him his favorite artist. And then he put out this quote after he passed. Drew made event art. His posters made many of our movies into destinations. And the memory of those movies and the age we were when we saw them always comes flashing back just by glancing at his iconic photorealistic imagery. Nobody drew like Drew, he says, a little catchy little in there. Guillermo del Toro, another goat, said, "The world lost a genial man, a genius communicator, and a supreme artist. I lost a friend, beloved Drew." And then DC president, of course, Jim Lee, Batman artist himself, a giant among giants. His work captured the humanity, power, and emotion of his subjects in ways not seen since. Thank you for bringing to life all the tentpole moments of my childhood and beyond. So, R.I.P. to Drew Struzan, man. What a legendary career. Definitely had to mention that one here. Um, Greg, yeah, Shawshank's also another amazing one. Denny, Greg, a story I'm very curious to hear your input in because I know you like this the source material here at least. Clue is getting a competition reality show on Netflix. The Hasbro game, which inspired the is that an 80s or 90s movie?
late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, that you loved is gonna get a competition show. I'm going to read a little bit from the article here at the Hollywood Reporter. Details remain scarce, but Netflix says that players will have to undergo physical and mental challenges in order to receive clues, with characters like the aforementioned Mustard, Professor Plum, and others all represented. There will also be red herrings to throw players off the case. Greg, are you going to sign up so that you and Nicole can go compete in the Clue reality
Ni-
show for
1985
Netflix?
is when it came out.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Where is that? I had the thing. Where did it go? Here we go. No, I'll say this quickly. Fuck reality TV. Reality TV sucks. I hate it. I can't watch it.
So
It's obnoxious to edit. It's obnoxious to watch. I hate all aspects of
in
reality.
competition, you don't want to compete in the competition show. This is the people that brought you Squid Game, the challenge.
Great, terrific. How tone that was so tone deaf. No, no, yeah, I'm good. This is just reality TV, reality television shows are relatively cheap to produce when compared to like your standard drama television show. They're easier, because you usually have
Well,
one
that's okay.
set.
You were just talking about smaller budgets.
Yep, but I was don't want reality shit. I hate reality shit. I worked in it. It's awful. I could tell you stories about it.
But
I
it,
mean,
but it's a
it's
competition show. It's a little different. This isn't the card keeping up with the Kardashians. It's a competition show. People are gonna like do mysteries and stuff. That's fun.
if
Solve
it's
clues
real,
with
but that's the part.
Colonel
Like, it's
Mustard.
so hard. Like, if there's like, you got to look for the credits if there's story editor or something like that. Like that could be mean that they're writer. Like it's yeah, dude. I mean, like even competition. My wife loves this show called the not the voice. Oh God, the box or something on Netflix. I hate that show, but
The
it's just
voice is
about.
great.
It's a movie about cat. It's a game show about catfishing people. Is the whole thing? It's like you're this voice on the box or something, like you're this voice. You're this disembodied voice on a social media platform that only these people in this room can see and this building can see. And
Mm.
it's the thing is like when you do like reality, like how do I explain this? I can't prove that it's fake, but you also can't prove that it's real. So like because like controversy
You
and
can say that about
drama is what
anything.
makes for good television. So if everyone's getting along or the competitors suck, it's not good television. So you have to orchestrate drama and you have to orchestrate entertainment because you can't just have people like what if the competition is boring, right? You have to put these things like the survivor. It's not interesting if everyone's getting along. You know what I mean? So they
I think a lot of that is just found in editing. We see it on like cooking shows and stuff where they're like 10, 9, and people are running around and it's like 8 and they zoom in on the stove and they're like yanking the door open at the last second. Like a lot of that can just be done in the cutting room, I feel. You can draw up some drama or remove stuff a lot. We've seen plenty of people go on reality shows and then they get on Twitter and they're like, they cut out my whole storyline. It's because like it just wasn't interesting or compelling. That stuff happens all the time. Um, I don't know. I love competition shows. I used to love when I was a kid. Like an American Ninja Warrior. I used to like all the Nickelodeon shows that they used to do. The freaking Legends of the Hidden Temple. That stuff. That's fun. And hey, Clue. I mean, I don't give a shit about the Clue board game, but clearly, people do. So
I feel like
they're
I
gonna
feel
they're
like
gonna
the
do
chef
something with it.
shows and the like American Ninja Warrior, like you have those are like physical challenges, right? They're physical challenges
Yeah,
like you have to be in shape. You're
it's a
doing these
mental
things that
challenge.
can't be faked, right? When you're making something, right? When you show the audiences like in those Top Chef and stuff like that real that's harder to fake. You can fake it, but it's harder to fake, right? It's harder to but like when you're doing something, they did had a show. I don't know if you remember they had Survivor the Mole or something like that. It was basically the same concept. Just someone on the team was like a mole for whatever and they had to like find like that's more boring and that can easily be manipulated to make it look like it's real when it's fake. That's just my biggest problem is like I remember, man, I used to work in it. It's incredibly staged and incredibly.
Yeah, but I mean, the shows you work on were staged. This is like a different production company.
That's true. That's true, but like
I
the
just
thing
I,
I
I don't know if we
again
can
I go
apply
back
it
to
to
that. I go
everything.
back to the statement of like it's boring TV is boring without conflict. You have to have some kind of conflict. You have to have somebody on this team is not going to work well with anybody else if everyone's working together and solving the mystery together, there's no conflict. So you have to create conflict. That's what makes good
Well, I
in
mean,
any movie too. It's a movie for movies too, right? You
that's
have to have a
that's why
conflict.
you have, but that's why you have editors, and it's why you have auditions, and it's why they screen hundreds of people, and they intentionally add people that are like assholes or people who are like inflammatory and make
Or
people
terrible, yeah,
upset
terrible
or
human
people up.
beings. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
gotta find a
So I think
terrible
a
human
lot a
being
lot of
for
that.
this.
I think you can find a lot of that without being like this guy's gonna win. We're gonna make this guy win. I think you could just watch a bunch of auditions and be like, oh, this guy's a dickhead, and you put him with this guy who's really chill or whatever. That'll be funny. Or you put these two like hotheads together. It'll just they're gonna argue. I think you can find a lot of that in just in casting and editing.
I think
But
it's also it's weird that I don't know if this article uses I don't know if this can't be key art for like the show, right? Like there's no way they
no, this is just from the it says it the theatrical poster for the 1985 movie
okay,
Clue.
yeah, there's no way it's like I was like there's no way they're getting those actors likeness rights on that TV show.
It's just it's just using an image for the article. That's all.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, reality TV is kind of my bane. It's not just because it's bad. It's because like when I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, that's camera one, camera five, camera six, camera seven, camera nine. Nicole was watching Selling Sunset, and I walked in on it, and they were having like a dinner,
Yeah, it's the
and
like what do you call it? The house show.
I counted 8 cameras, and of those 8 cameras, like 2 of them were shot at a later date. And so like I'm sitting here because they used to have to log it. I used to log all this shit like on XD cam. So I had to watch all of it in each camera. And
Mhm.
like the when they and the, so my brain just goes to instantly edit mode and I just get a headache because there's so much coverage that's all over the place. So many cameras just shooting nonstop
Yeah.
because that's how they used to shoot rally. I don't know if they still do that anymore. It's how they used to shoot. They would just shoot and go. The cameras would not shut off for 8 hours. They would just go. Producers would come in,
Go.
redirect. They'd start the scene over. There was no cutting. So we had to log.
Yeah.
It was called XD cam. These big tapes before all digital. Uh,
Mhm.
Digital videotape. Then that could store like 8 to 12 hours of footage and not stop. So I my job was to ingest this footage in an XD cam deck, and you couldn't do it. It wasn't a drag and drop thing. You had to watch everything and keep track of the time code to make sure nothing slipped, and take notes on like lines, like if someone said a line that was good, or someone there was a conflict that was good, or whatever, like that kind of stuff. That's why I know so much about like Little People Big World and Johnny K Plus A, because you get to see everything. And like I signed an NDA, so like I don't know what the limitations are on that, over 25 years ago, whatever.
You're gonna
But
find out.
no clue. But you see it all. Like you see everything. And like that's why I learned so much about reality TV, and that's also why like my brain just can't. It was also miserable. Like the turn like that content's miserable. So you just, oh my god, like you're just awful. But I will say this, and I've said this on the show before, the Little People Big World dad is awesome. That dude was like, he would talk back to producers. He would like say, I'm not gonna do that on camera. That's stupid. Like he would actually like, he's like, that's something I would never do. That's something an asshole would do. I'm like, that guy's great. Love that dude. Yeah, sorry,
For
not to
that
derail, but
gentleman.
no, so yeah, that was my job. And like it's just when you're doing a game show, it's the same thing. It's still like 3 or 4 cameras rolling plus 2 Steadicam operators following stuff around. It might be filmed in front of a live studio audience, but it is like the challenges might be filmed, but all the story stuff is separate. So it's just nuts, man. The whole there's so much that goes into it, and it just gives me a massive headache. Headache.
Well, that's all right, Greg. I will audition to be in Netflix's Clue competition show, and I will report back from the inside
You
about
might
my
be too nice
experience.
to get onto those shows.
I can play a part. And you need a guy, nice guy. You need somebody to root for. You got to have all the character archetypes. I'll be the sweetheart.
Oh, I was
Just trying to
almost
live out
in a
my
reality
dream.
TV show too, by the way. See if I can find it.
Oh God, what show?
It was an MTV
You
show about like it was when Rock Band was at its peak. They did like a show where like people would compete, and we competed, and
jeez.
they cut out a lot of the bands.
I
2009.
think you, ironically, Greg, would be a very good reality TV show personality. I think you would make for some very funny moments that people would put in trailers and stuff.
So like, and they filmed the whole thing on a stage show in Hollywood. I was called last minute because I'd worked with the
Yeah.
producer and they needed more people, and not enough people showed up. And
Yeah.
he knew that I liked games, so he called me. He's like, "Hey, do you have 4 friends? Can you come do this thing on Saturday or Friday, whatever the fuck it was?" And so we did, and like they're like, "What's the name of your band? We need some pictures of your band." So like we dressed up. This is all stuff we did ourselves. We just sent them a picture, told them the name of the band, which was Dave and the Dungeon Masters, and then we did the thing on a live
That's a good band
stage,
name.
and then they cut us for time.
Remember I said this earlier. I was like, some people do reality shows and then they're like, oh, they cut us out of the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
we were really disappointed by that. I wish I could name the show because it didn't take off. It did not take off. I think it was
I
Mark
mean, no,
Burnett was the
clearly not.
producer of it, I believe.
Yeah. Denny agrees with me. He said they would put Greg all over. Yeah, you'd be a superstar if you run a reality TV show. I think you have the right personality for it.
Oh man, that's too bad. Can I travel around cons and ask for $50 for a photo? Because that would be great too. I'd love to do that. That's good money.
No, we need to put you need to be in a reality show where there are like other personalities. You need to be like in an ensemble because you would argue with people or people would rally you up and you'd like pop off on them and they'd put it in the like trailer
Yeah, the problem
and
is I'm
stuff.
older
It'd be
now,
good.
and like so now like I just wouldn't argue because like Donovan like Greg is 90% wrong 100% of the time. So I'm good. I think I would just be like, hold on.
I
I'm like
think
googling before I talk everything just to make sure.
hold on.
They're like, no, don't Google, just go. I'm like, I don't want to go. I'm good. Donovan has his
Yeah,
popcorn. Yeah, great, just go. He has his comment
I
ready,
would.
his memes ready. He's already just dismantled me.
I
I'm
would
like,
eat that shit up. I'd be waiting at home. I'd like send in the text messages to vote to like keep you on the show so that you can be there another week.
I've
It'd
tried
be
to
great.
grow as a person, and I am wrong a lot. But when I am right, Donovan gets scared. You kind of like back here, like, oh my god,
But you
Greg
know,
is right.
It happens so often. It's
It's
very
so
frequent.
rare. It's just like, oh my god.
No. Um, well, with that, Greg, we do have one segment before we get into reviews. We got a trailer at New York Comic Con for Invincible Season 4. I've not seen this yet. I was at New York Comic Con, a bunch of Invincible stuff there. Um, this is coming out next year, early next year, I believe, 2026. If you want, we can do a classic old 3, 2, 1 bang.
I've I've already seen it because I didn't really want to
Ah,
watch it.
that's
But
okay.
it's just him.
I have,
They just talk, and it's done very low budget. Like, because the animation's
okay.
kind of choppy too.
Do you want to watch the? This is the other one Denny sent us. We can do it. Welcome to Derry Red Band trailer.
Oh yeah, we can do that one.
Here, I'll send this one to you. Let me know when you're ready to hit go. I'm actually kind of interested in this show. I didn't really care when they first announced it, but the more they talk about it, I'm like, this actually might be
The
an interesting
concept
project.
of the concept of the world that Stephen King built with that monster, which essentially it's what you call it? It's a monster movie. Like it's
It's a
cool. I think
monster,
that
yeah.
concept is cool, but it's also been a mini series with Tim Curry, and it's also been a movie, and now it's miniseries again. So it's very confused. And the book is fucking bonkers. Have you ever read the book?
I have read the book. Yeah,
Dude,
I read it
it's
in college.
weird. It gets really weird. Like it's too much
It is.
cocaine, Steven. Too much cocaine.
Stephen King wrote a lot of weird stuff back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it.
Um.
Like I remember reading
Now
the
this
end of it, and I'm
is
just like, what the fuck? Like, for those of you who have not read the book, toward the end of it, and it's a
oh
pretty
dear.
infamous chapter.
Cut me out of this cut me out of this vertical video slice.
All the kids apparently feel like if they something has. It's been a while since I've read the book, but something about like they feel like if they lose their virginities, they'll be immune to it or something. There was a weird, subtle theme, so they all have like this orgy in the sewer. It's so weird. It's very weird and very cringy to read. And they've left it out of every. They've only done 2 iterations of it, and they've left it out of both. Thank God, because that's very weird. Very weird.
The bonding moment.
What's the
This
movie?
show.
Squires. It the book. We're talking about the book. It.
Squads, we're talking about it, but we're about to watch the trailer for It Welcome to Derry, which is the upcoming TV show. Now, this is
Yes.
based in the like universe of the movie. This isn't like the It just all over again. This is like a prequel to the events of the movies. Obviously set in the same world.
Right, because
Let me know when you're ready
it's
to
what's it
go.
called? It's Jeepers Creepers rules. He has to like regenerate every 10 years or 15 years or something.
I think it's actually similar timeline because it is
Yeah.
27 years. Jeepers Creepers is around the same. It's like 20,
Yeah,
20
well,
something,
Jeepers
I think.
Creepers said they were inspired by the book. It's like some of the screenwriters and some of the producers liked it, and they want to do their own version of that. I'm like, okay, cool, because it's the
I
same rules.
hate Jeepers Creepers. I
Really?
saw Jeepers Creepers when I was a kid, Greg.
You really didn't like it? Oh, you saw it too
Nightmares.
young, just too young.
Nightmares.
Okay, that's why.
Nightmares. Nightmares. That's like wake up in the middle of the night, cold sweat, like slapping myself in the face, terrified.
Oh,
That
you
movie
just saw it too
fucking
young.
freaked me
You just saw it too young. That was the
because
issue.
I saw Jeepers Creepers 2, and my dad used to live in an apartment that was like behind it was a cornfield, and it looked just like the cornfield from the beginning of the second one, where the kid's running and he gets grabbed by the shoulders and pulled and yanked into the sky, and he gets killed and eaten. Jeepers Creepers fucking freaks me out, bro. And even like the scene on the bus where he's like walking down the bus and all the kids are like not scared to move, and he's like telling them to get out the way because he wants like the girl in the back or whatever the fuck. That shit is so crazy.
Is it the second
If I
one?
watch Jeepers Creepers,
That's the
it's the
second one.
second one. Yeah,
Second
it's the
one's
second one. I've
more like actiony and more like, yeah, it's not as creepy as the
That's
first
just
one.
terrifying. No, no, it's terrifying. No, Jeepers Creepers 2 is a nightmare. I hate that
Really?
movie.
I mean, but
Um,
then again,
no,
I don't
can't
put it
do
past
it.
your dad because he also made you see Jennifer's body way too young as well. So those are the two.
Well, that movie's fun.
How old are you? Let's not answer how old are you when you're not you see Jennifer's body.
It's like 12. What can you say?
It's too young. Stop.
Greg, by the time I was 12, I had already played Grand Theft Auto 4. I was already playing Halo every weekend for like 12 hours a day. Like, I was watching Family Guy. Like, what was little Jennifer's body, you know? It was nothing at that point. There was nothing. Nothing,
I think my
nothing,
dad did the same thing. He
nothing
was
to
like,
worry
"Oh, he
about.
can handle it." So I wake up screaming at night trying to watch. I can watch Child's Play. Nope, screaming. Couldn't do it. Could not do it.
Child's Play is another scary one. That I didn't see Child's Play till I was older. I saw that as like a older teenager, like 17,
So
18.
you will you not watch that
Um,
movie? Hold on, we're sorry, we're derailing, but will you not watch that movie now as an adult?
Jeepers Creepers, I don't want to. I mean, I could. If somebody was doing like a movie night, I wouldn't be like, no, I can't go. But it would probably still freak me out. It would wake up all those memories that are like embedded deep in my brain, my psyche.
Oh, I thought that that movie is just cool. I just like there's those monster movies that give you a
Jeepers
ton of
Creepers,
yeah, that give you a ton of like exposition and like lore on the monster. Like it's fucking cool. I think I love that stuff so much. Like when they get really into nitty gritty, like how the monster was just like a leftover demon from like the Angelical War. Like that's awesome. Like he's just stuck there. Like he doesn't want to go back to hell, so he's just trying to stay alive as long as he can. I thought that was awesome.
so he
That was
makes all of our lives a living hell.
yeah, I thought that was
Is what he's
cool. Anyway,
doing.
okay, I'm sorry. We can watch.
Ah, God,
Do you
fucking
still live
Jeepers
behind a
Creepers, bro.
cornfield? Because I could have some fun with that if I fly out there. I could
I
tap
don't.
on
I
the
don't live
window
anywhere
or
near
something
corn
on your second
now.
story.
No, not anymore. Not anymore.
Okay, all right, hold on. I'll get this ready. All right, so we'll go. We'll go three, two, one, and we'll go on go. Right? Okay, three, two, one, go.
Oh, it's the
Oh,
balloon.
they all float.
Because Pennywise, get it?
Holy smokes! No way!
Few liquors.
Movies.
Wait, this is like the new version of the Georgia with the boat.
Where none of the children will ever be found. They wandered away to join the show.
I like that actor a lot. Is that David
They
Oyelowo?
lost their way in the world below.
I love period pieces. It's a cool period piece.
Yeah, I think this is like 60s maybe.
Fear.
Oh, he was doing like the Uncle Sam thing.
Settles
That's
on
fun.
every living person it touches like a fawn.
Shawshank State Prison.
The joy
Woo!
is to left their town. Now they live here down with the clown. 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 Down with the clown.
Oh God.
That looks great.
This does look really good actually.
Yeah.
End of the month, yeah. Dude, I think the big thing is that they got Bill Skarsgård back to do Pennywise. I mean, there are a lot of good things about the modern It movies, but Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise is insanely good. I mean, him doing when they realized that he was doing the eyes for real, like he could just fucking make his eyes look in different directions like that, is crazy. His voice, even just the way he talks, so he's like, "Here comes the cloud." Like, there's something about his voice that just fits that role. So it's really cool that he came back and is like in the full fucking makeup and prosthetics for it again. Um, I'm into it. And you said the period piece of it all, it being like a 60s
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Always fun.
We see locations from the movie. We see that abandoned house in the corner they go to. We see the like pile of bodies with the people floating in the air from the second one. I'm down. I'm gonna watch this.
It's cool to like I said before, like when I was talking about Jeepers Creepers, I love like deep explanation of lore of like monsters, like specifically.
Mhm.
And Pennywise's like origin is cool. Like if you've seen the movie or
Yeah.
read the book, like he's not from our world, he's from another dimension. And apparently I think Stephen King has said in interviews that if you've seen remember what was that movie with the Dark Tower? You've seen the movie about the
Dark Tower.
gunslingers. It didn't get very well reviews, but like apparently like Pennywise is from that dimension, like originally.
Yeah.
And he broke through into
Hmm.
ours. And I just think that's super cool nerdy stuff. I'm just like, oh, that's cool. And he feeds off fear and he needs to eat and he needs to recharge and stuff like that. Like I thought that's a super cool thing. Like no one knows what like his true form is kind of like a spider thing, or is it? Because he creates illusions. Like he's like a super powerful entity. Um and his like natural predator is like some world turtle. It gets really fucking weird. Like if you go down that rabbit hole. I don't know. I thought that's really cool. But like again, like you said, it's I think what makes this work so well, Donovan, is that like he feeds on people's fear, and everybody has a different fear. So you're able to really like in a film or in a TV show, like really play to that. What's this person's fear, and like how would it be, and like what's your greatest fear, and how would it show itself to you, right? Like how would it terrorize you? And I think even in the
Yeah.
movies, the remake that they did, I wasn't a huge fan, but like all the stuff with Pennywise is great. Like the manifestation of fears and everything he's doing to torture the kids is like really interesting. And I think that's where this movie plays its strength. It's like it knows the monsters, why people are there, and you should focus on the monster, right? That's the whole point.
Mm. Yeah, I think so too. And I love the like you said for the lore. I love the idea that like just like the military is going down to like investigate this, and like the government has like gotten involved in this whole thing, and they're like, "What the fuck's going on here?" I'm excited to see like whatever incited that. I think that's fun. It's just crazy like how shows now just have like movie budgets, or at least like the same creative power. Because like
The
watching this,
quality.
if you told me this was yeah, if you told me this was the trailer for It 3, Chapter 3, like a movie, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's what this is. But it's a show. That's so cool. It's like seamless. They look exactly the same. They've replicated the look and feel of those movies.
You can do more with
Um,
the show too. You have more time given to develop characters and story arcs
you get a lot of
and all
time.
that good stuff. And like the budget obviously is a period piece in general is expensive to do. So like they're already like a huge budget just based on the time period. But like, of course, everything with
Yeah.
Pennywise, there's a lot of visual effects, but a lot of practical effects too. From what I've seen behind the scenes of the movie. So and that's
Mhm.
always a plus.
Yeah.
I always like supporting stuff that dives deep into practical effects, and horror is like
They
one
do a
of the
lot of
last.
practical in it.
Like the thing is, if you're gonna do something practical, like try to do it practical. Like that's my thing. If there's something that is impossible to do practical because it's too dangerous, or like the mountain of bodies, like you can't do that, right? That would be the whole budget of the. So you just do it digital. That's fine. But it looks great. I mean, I love the style of it. It's great. I love the
Mhm.
continuation of the story. I love the monster. So it works
Yeah,
out. And he's been around for a long time. And like
forever. It
nobody
comes
like
every
exactly
27 years.
yeah, no one exactly comes out and says like, oh, we defeat like no one comes public, and if they do, they're said they're crazy, right? So you have all this gap, like Denny said, every 7 years could be a different era with different season with different kids. Which
Yeah,
works
I
out
was gonna
really
bring up that
well.
message. Yeah, then he says that every season will go back into the 27 years. That's awesome. I'm assuming that came from like an interview, an announcement or something. That's really fun. If like this is like 60s, so then we go back to like 40s. For the one after there, maybe like late 30s. You get into like pre-World War II era, then you go back here in the late 1800s. Like you could do some fun stuff with that. Yeah, I like that. I think I just like the trope of like blank only comes around every X amount of years is always a fun trope
Yeah,
in
it's fun.
entertainment.
And
So
not many people do many
yeah.
people do that? Jeepers Creepers, it.
I mean, Jeepers Creepers and It are like the big ones that stand out to me. I'm sure there are more, uh, but I can't immediately think of one. I think X Files probably has a couple of those. There's an X Files episode where it's something like that. But yeah, very good. I'm looking forward to this. And I'll be honest, I did a full 180 on this. When they announced this show, I was like, what a like boring, obvious idea now that the movies are done. But now that we've seen like the trailers and they've like talked about the show, I'm like, I think they're kind of doing this all right. I got nothing to hate on with this, so I'm looking forward to it. I'll watch it. And it's coming out Halloween spooky season, October 26th. Woohoo! We like scary stuff. Um, well, with that, it's time to transition, Greg, into the second and final full segment of our show. Reviews. We got a lot of things to watch and talk about. I have a big movie that I've seen a couple of times now that I teased earlier that I could lead with. I don't know if you had stuff this week to review or not, but
I can touch on some small stuff, but no, I think I want to recut that trailer to have either that's what I figured the clown, I could either get busy dying or get busy working.
Get Busy Living or Get Busy Dying. One of
I
my
could cross the
favorite.
streams with Shawshank Redemption. Have this huge arc.
I mean, yeah, and that's a very Stephen King thing, right? He loves to cross over his IP or like reference stuff together, right? He does that all the time in his books and whatnot. You mentioned the Dark Tower,
Yeah, the Dark
Pennywise
Tower, because
connection.
that's the set like
Um,
the antithesis of like all the
yeah.
monsters that he's created come from there, which is cool. But anyway, sorry, you were gonna sorry
Mhm.
before we get off track. So you saw something small. We can start with your movies because I saw Superman with Nicole, and I saw I'm really mad you can't letterbox TV shows.
It's a movie
I'm
app.
mad about that because we watch more TV
That's like saying
than we do movies.
I'm mad you can't watch TV shows in the movie theater. It's a movie theater. It's what it's for. People got TV apps. Go find one.
Okay.
But
So
the
yeah,
real
we'll start with
ones,
you,
the
and
cool
I'll
kids are
I'll
in the
touch
movie
on
app.
Superman after.
Okay.
Yours done.
And also, Danny's going to be joining us to review Alien Earth. I told him he could just jump in whenever we
Ooh,
start
okay. I've
reviews.
been
So
wanting to watch that, but I
he'll,
don't want to give Hulu money.
yeah, he'll check in here. There you go. I watched one battle after another. In fact, I watched it twice. I saw it here in my home state of Maryland at a Baltimore County area movie theater. But then, Greg, I watched it again last week in New York City because in New York City, there's a little movie theater called the AMC Lincoln Square 13. And it's one of, I think, less than 20 70 millimeter IMAX theater screens in the United States of America. And I went and saw this movie a second time on the screen so big that it was larger than the apartment I live in, the building. And I got to see Leonardo DiCaprio, Tiana Taylor, and Chase Infinity's faces projected at an unfathomable size. And this is the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie. This movie's amazing. It essentially, Greg, is like a dual timeline thing. It's the kind of story where it's like half of it takes place in one timeline, and then the second half is like 20-ish years later, like 16 years later. Um, and it's about this like liberation group, essentially. They're like trying to it's like they're in like Southern California, right? So they're trying to like liberate like illegal immigrants who have been like arrested by the border and whatnot. And they're like anti-establishment, and they're like pushing it back against like the United States military and all the like fucked up shit that like we do and like to immigrants and whatnot. It's a rebel group, and essentially you get to like see this rebel group and how they operate and whatnot. And Leonardo DiCaprio is part of it. Tiana Taylor's characters are part of it, and then things that happen in the story, and then there's a time jump. We go like 16 years into the future, and you see like essentially what happened to everybody from that group and where they are now. Um, and Leonardo DiCaprio's character has a daughter now who is like she's 16. It's 16 years later, um, who is kind of navigating the world now as a son of a daughter of Leonardo DiCaprio's character. But there's like all this fallout from what happened when he was young and he was this rebel and part of this militant group. And it's kind of like a past coming up to like coming back to get you sort of story. But it has so much to say about like I just a lot of controversial modern American topics, right? Like immigration, a lot of culture wars they get into, a lot of like societal stuff. She's got like there's a scene where she's like going out to the dance with her friends, and she's got like a non-binary friend, right? And because Leonardo DiCaprio's like in his 40s and he's older, he's like, what is it? She, her, he, they, blah, blah, blah. And he's like trying, he's like, his like heart's in the right place. He's trying to be respectful, but he's also like a bit like overbearing because of it. He's a protective father because, he had like this very crazy past and he knows that people might come after him one day. But it's just this cool, like genre spanning story that one I just thought feels like an epic. It's just got such massive scope. But like I don't know, it's just such a cool like examination of like this period that we live in where you just get to watch the eyes of this rebel group who's supposed to be like fighting an establishment and all these things that I mean I say we hate. Clearly everybody doesn't hate these things or else they wouldn't be the way they are. But I just think it has so much to say about like the political climate, but also I think what's really impressive about it is that it's just like it's a father-daughter story at the end of the day. Like Leonardo DiCaprio, his character did all this shit, and he's gone through all this stuff, and he goes through such great lengths to keep like this private, low profile life and like to hide from his past, as you will. But it's like the way he kind of puts himself out there for his daughter and the way he kind of raises her to be a certain kind of person, right? Like he teaches her to fight. She knows how to shoot guns, all this stuff. I thought was really endearing. And the actress who plays his daughter, Chase Infinity, her first movie, you would never know. It's crazy. She's so good. Benicio del Toro, he's like this karate instructor. I think his name's like Sensei Sergio. He's like this Latino karate instructor who like lives again in like a what do you call like a sanctuary town where a lot of like immigrants would go and find solace when they come to America. And he's Sensei Sergio, and he's so funny in this movie, and he's kind of like a like a supporting like ally kind of character. Um, it's great. It's got everything. They got nuns in this movie. They got fake white supremacist groups. It's good. It's very good.
I'm having
One
like a
battle after another.
Stefan moment with your review where he's like, "This movie has everything: guns, nuns, the KKK." You're just like, "What
I mean, yeah, that's it. I mean, you just kind of nailed it. Yeah, in one. Mm. Yeah, very good movie. It was just fun. It's like it's cliche to say, but it's just like got so much movie, and it's like a good time at the movies. Like you watch and you're like, damn, like that's why you go watch a movie. It's like the kind of thing that like in 2012 this would have come out and would have been like the biggest movie of the year, and everybody was saw it back when going to the movie theaters was still mainstream and popular. But yeah, one battle after another. I liked it very much. It's one of my favorites of the
It's
year.
just a combination. There's just so much media, and if you miss it, it's gone.
Whole lot.
So like
Yeah,
that just
there's
becomes like we talked about this earlier. But in the 80s and 90s, there weren't nearly as many things going on as there
no.
were now because of the more streamlined way of making movies. Now you can make them a lot quicker. So like like if you don't see it or you don't hear about it, and then there's also like half the audience. I don't know, maybe less than half. They're just like, oh, wait till streaming, right? You it's less of a risk. It's more comfortable. But like you're right. Like IMAX is I don't think I've ever been to an IMAX. Which that's the circular screen, right? Where
Mhm.
like the film is
No,
shot
no, no,
almost in like
no.
a really big square box.
It's
Like
like
with
it's
like
a square.
yeah,
Yeah, it's almost like 4 by 3 close. It's just like a really tall screen.
yeah.
It's not 16 by 9. It's not wedge. It's like a big thing. And I think this movie's actually shot in like fucking VistaVision or something. I don't know, but it's beautiful. It's such a good looking movie. Obviously, it's Paul Thomas fucking Anderson. I mean, he makes brilliant looking movies, but it's great. Soundtrack is beautiful. We have some Tom Petty in there. This is a really good movie. It's like I watch it and I'm just like, it's not often that I watch a movie and I'm like, I'd like start this over. Like if I had nothing to do today, I'd just like put this on again. It's just such a enjoyable, good movie. Got good villains. I know you like a good villain. Sean
I do.
Penn is kind of like the antagonistic character in this. He's almost like fucking like Nemesis in Resident Evil 3, where he's just like armed to the teeth and he's just always showing up.
He's
It's
always
like no matter where you go,
walking slowly toward his target,
yeah,
doesn't stop.
yeah, it's like no matter where you go, no matter what you do, he's like always on your trail, sort of villain. And he is like so good in this movie that I didn't even bring him up because I hate him. Like you watch the movie, you just hate this guy. But it's like it's such a good performance. I would recommend this. It was a Warner Brothers movie, Greg. So for you and Nicole, it'll be on HBO Max within the next 2-ish months, probably. I'd say.
If they don't make a lot of
Maybe
money,
end
I
of the
think it's
year.
faster. I think it's when they make money, it takes longer, right?
It didn't. I mean, it had a budget of 100. It says between 130 170 is like the prediction because they don't tell us these things, and box office is at 140.
Okay,
So
well,
it's
so
already
with marketing, yeah, it's a loss, but not that bad.
it's gonna yeah, it's gonna lose some, and
It's
it's
not like
already in its
5
like second or
million,
third weekend.
opening weekend like the Rock's movie, right? Like it's not like that, not that bad. It's
No,
still
no,
a loss,
no.
but not a terrible loss.
Yeah. But I think it'll be on HBO Max by the new year or around New Year's, maybe January. But highly recommend, dude. One battle after another. What a fantastic time at the cinema.
Yeah, I don't
But
even know
please.
where the nearest IMAX is. I don't think there's one in San Francisco anymore. So
Oh
LA.
yeah. Oh, you sure San Fran has one? LA's got at least a couple, and
LA
they're building
has
another
some, yeah,
one.
because obviously it's a film town. Yeah, I think that's the
Universal, yeah.
closest that I have is
I know
LA.
what's it called? Universal City Walk has one in LA. I've been to that one. I saw Oppenheimer on that theater. Yeah, the closest one to me is like an hour and a half. It's in Pennsylvania. But I was in New York for work, and I was like, "Hey, what am I gonna do with my AMC Stubs A-list subscription with 2 hours and a half to kill? I'm gonna go see a movie, baby. I'm gonna see a movie. So there you go. But okay, I'll hit the ping pong ball across the table to you, Greg. You watch some stuff.
I can do Peacemaker, I can do Superman, or I can do Peacemaker or Superman because that's what I finished. I didn't finish in Gen V. We've one episode left, but I called that shit like on episode 3. I'm like, yeah, I know how this shit works. Everyone is dumb in that show. I don't know why they're all dumb, but they're all dumb.
TV characters. What can you do? Talk about Superman.
So Nicole's a thing for Henry Cavill. Obviously, who doesn't?
Oh, that's right. She was upset about this. He's a
That
very looking dude. I mean,
That's
come
what
on,
she'll
girl,
say.
Olivia.
But like I was like, I really wanted to see this movie. I just didn't want to see it in theater because our theater sucks. But I do enjoy James Gunn. I think that dude does really good work, and I also think that he's exhausted because I think he's just writing all the fucking time at this point because he's writing so much. Every
Dude,
single time I saw a
always. It's
Peacemaker episode,
crazy.
it was like written by. I'm like, dude, does this guy sleep? Like,
And then 2 weeks ago, we covered on the show. He's just casual, like the script for Superman 2 is done. Like, what are you doing, dude? But yeah, he's a busy bee.
lots of cocaine, maybe. No, I don't think he's that kind Anyway, but
Jesus.
I missed this type of Superman. Like it had been this bullshit, dark, grimy, tortured Superman for fucking ever, and we never got away from it since Singer did it.
Why did you say that name?
No, not even. It wasn't. It was before. Even before Snyder got
Oh,
him.
you didn't like Superman Returns?
No, because he was dark and broody, and he was just Jesus allegory. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like it was very ham-fisted and not, just meh, right? Like everyone's like he's a hard superhero to do because he's very white bread, and that's true. That's why you have to have like a cast of characters surrounding him that are interesting. Because like he's invincible. Like what does he do? Right? Okay, so he has to struggle with protecting people. That's his whole thing. Everything. The soundtrack was great. The acting was great. I thought Superman was fine. People are giving him shit. I was like, hey, he's fine. He was a fine Superman. I love that he's like, gee golly willikers. I thought that was great. Like
He's raised by farmers. It's great. Yeah.
that's great.
What the hey?
It's
What
so
the hey,
Superman.
dude?
Like he's so like when Superman acts like a kid, that's good Superman. That's a Superman that I miss, right? He doesn't understand the intricacies of shades of gray. He's just like, oh no, I'm doing good. See, I'm helping people. Like that's all. And that's good Superman. That's Superman I've missed. I hate the Zack Snyder Superman. I didn't like the Bryan Singer Superman. Too mopey, too dark, too tortured. I'm like, come on, man. Like Clark had a really good life, dude. Like he should not be this tortured when he's an adult. Like he had a really healthy life. And that stupid scene where his dad is like, no. Like that was like the dumbest shit in the world.
Kevin Costner, baby.
Yeah, they try to make him like this like tortured soul. I'm like, no, man, Batman is his yin. He's the tortured soul. Superman's not tortured. So that's why they work well together, because they're complete opposites of each other. I thought Nicholas Hoult killed it as Lex. Like that was wow, what a great.
He is awesome as Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
maybe just the best Lex Luthor. He's so good.
Oh yeah, well Jesse Eisenberg's like was just Jesse Eisenberg. Jesse is Jesse Eisenberg. Like you get him. That's who you get. Yeah, and like he was a little too like he had some like, but he's nailed
very
the
neurotic.
obsessiveness. He nailed the intellect. The intelligence part of Lex. Like he killed that character.
Every time he speaks is so funny. Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's like yeah. A little bit more. Like Lex is more calculated and cold than Jesse Eisenberg portrayed him. I think he was more like. I mean, anyway, because
he's very eccentric.
Yeah, I was like, okay, no, he's just super fucking smart and like smug and like he's always one step ahead. He's like of everyone else usually. And that's his weakness, right? Like he ignored the dumbest person around him, thinking that they were no threat, which was great. I loved that twist.
Yeah.
Even when I saw when they're like when she was taking the selfies, I was like, why is that in there? I'm like, wait a minute, she's taking pictures of something, and I was like, she was taking pictures of something. I thought it was great. I enjoyed it greatly. Mr. Turk was awesome. It's good to see him get some screen time.
Dude, I love his scene. Boop, 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 do, 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 do. It was great. Where Lois Lane's on the bubble and he's like fighting people. Loved Lois Lane. Rachel Brosnahan, amazing. That's my Lois Lane immediately. They're dynamic. Superman and Lois. I was like, I mean, they could just talk in a room for an hour and a half, and that'd be a great movie.
That's the thing with that, and that's the thing with James is that it's like a big gearbox. Everyone has a cog. Everything matters in his scripts. Like everything leads to something else. Everyone's important. No one's wasted. Right? Everyone has a point. And that's something that I think a lot of movies have lost. Like, oh, we're gonna have all these characters in them, fucking for no reason, and they're gonna have nothing to do. They have no arc, but they're in there. Thumbs up, and you're like, no, fuck off. Frozen Empire did that.
I think you do have to give James Gunn credit because he does make small roles like actually matter in his movies. Yeah. Like his casting is always on point when it comes to like making that a thing.
Connecting the dots.
And that's always big in comics too. So like I like seeing that.
Yeah, he connects the dots. Everyone has some point. Like without them, the story's different. The story doesn't work. You remove them, the story does not work. Right? Like so. Like that's the whole point. There's a certain point where you need everyone to come together. I loved seeing the Justice League. I liked the Green Lantern. I like Rainer. Rainer's my favorite Lantern, and I like Stewart. I wish they would have done one of them. I don't like Gardner.
They're doing the Lantern show. That's coming out next year. We're getting the live action, which is supposed to be. I think it's Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. I think they're the leads of that one.
Sick.
That's coming out next year.
Hawkgirl was okay. Hawkgirl's fine. I just don't know where her wings went in like these other scenes. Like they just vanished, which is weird. And
I guess hers just retracts. They didn't
have the budget to do them. So I'm gonna guess they didn't give them the budget to do the wings when she wasn't using them. That's the only thing I can.
I think it might just be a creative choice. They want her to have retractable wings. This one, I don't think they're like like angel wings this time. Is that is
Okay.
what I think
can
is
see
going
it.
on? Because they seem almost like mechanical, or
Well,
they're
she's
like
supposed
they're
to
like,
be
like golden like material.
she's Thanagarian, so she's an alien, which is interesting. So I don't know, but
Yeah.
they never get into that. Maybe they will in like other stuff.
hmm
But no, I liked
Metamorphos
it.
in
I
this
thought
thing.
it was well done. It didn't drag. I thought a lot of the action scenes were done very well. Like the problem I had with Snyder's, there's a lot of problem with Snyder's wing, but like there's only so many minutes I can take of someone getting punched and going through 10 buildings, and like the max length is like, 5, and those were going on for like 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Like we get it, they're
Sure.
strong, move to something else. And like when I saw that, because I saw it in the theaters with Nicole, and Nicole leaned over to me, she's like, when does the fighting stop? Because they were just punching each other and flying for like ever, and it just dragged. But no, I loved
Oh,
everything about it. Loved it. James Gunn is killing it. I hope he's taking care of himself.
Yahoo!
Uh, because
Yeah.
I don't want him to slip in quality. I also don't want him to get overwhelmed and sacrifice his mental health because we want more DC movies. And
Next up,
everyone
Man of
wants
Tomorrow,
Batman.
baby.
Everyone wants Batman. Everyone's talking about Batman
Dude, that's
because they
every
introduced
every
Peacemaker.
interview.
So now they're like, well, we're Batman. Like, no, just let him build his world, dude. Let him do his thing.
Still
Every
cares about the
single
Batman. Like I'm still fine with the Batman universe is on the side
yeah.
being a thing. I don't need the rush to the Brave and the Bold action.
I was so mad because
Yeah.
I saw a poster and I thought it was real and it fucking wasn't. And I hate this time period we live in. I'm so mad with all the fake shit. I'm so upset. I'm like,
Greg was like,
oh,
hell
wow,
yeah!
cool. I'm like, they're doing Mr. Freeze? Oh wow, I thought I would have read about that. That's weird. Google fake. I'm like, oh god damn it. Like, fuck you for doing that. Like
Don't worry, Greg. I'll tell you when they announce it.
that's
I'll
how
show
good it looked
personally.
though. Like I was like, damn, good poster. Like
I mean, if
Yeah.
like I'm fine with Batman being 3-4 years from now after we've got another Batman already doing things.
yeah,
Like, if you're
let's
gonna do a new
focus on other
Batman in
people.
the
We've had enough
universe, then give him
Batman.
the gray and blue suit. If you're gonna do all that, make it completely different from stuff we've done before already at this point. Some
Mm.
gray and blue action.
Yeah. Well, Denny, now that you're here, let's get into some gray and green action because you watched all of Alien Earth, the FX slash Hulu slash Disney television show, which is a prequel to the original Alien, by my understanding. I only watched the first episode of it. I'm bad at watching TV, so I apologize, Alien Earth and Noah Hawley. But what'd you think of it since the season 1 has just wrapped up recently?
You know what? Alien Earth, I went in very hesitant about this show, but actually, I was quite impressed. It actually
Nice.
holds up pretty well. I would definitely recommend it. Um, the show itself, I want to say it was about 10 episodes, and they dive into a lot more of like a mixture of things, both like. So the premise of kind of like where things kind of kick off is that Wayland Utani had an entire separate spacecraft full of alien creatures besides just a xenomorph, and it crashes into the territory of a rival company, and they basically come in and investigate. You get all your creepy horror, alien moments. They manage to capture some of these creatures and bring them back to their facility, and it kind of takes off from there. But they play around with kind of like the ideas of humanity and some of that stuff too. One of the main premises of the show is that there's a bunch of terminally ill children that they basically
Yep.
sign off their real life human bodies to be used in these experiments as new synthetics basically. So they transfer over their minds to that synthetic, and they've got your superhuman strength, super speed, etc. Don't feel pain, those kind of things. But they're still essentially children. They're running around in these adult bodies and such. But they're also being used to help test out what some of these creatures do and such on the other end. And it kind of escalates from there to some crazy parts. But for fans of like, the Alien series who just want to see like the horror and like action and gore, you might be let down by some of that because it's not going to be every episode just people getting sliced to pieces. That would kind of get old pretty quickly. But they
Fair.
build up that tension over time really well. And what I thought was interesting I think is worth bringing up without it being like a full spoiler or anything. But they do spend a full episode on the staff or the crew of the original ship that was hosting those creatures before they crashed, and shows why they ended up, in the trajectory of crashing into planet in the first place. And that gives you more of that old school Alien vibe, where you're like, "What the hell
Nice.
is happening here?" So you get some of that. You get your cake and get to eat it too on both ends. You get some corporate greed action and like the kind of Succession vibes you would see on like one of those HBO shows, where basically the way that like the planet works in the future is that there's 90 nations or countries anymore. There's just 5 corporations that own everything, and so they're fighting over territory. It gets pretty ugly, and but there's some great acting in the show. They do a really good job of both, uh, you know, the child actors and then the main, which I thought was kind of funny because they make this like uh, Mark Zuckerberg type character, but he's like a child genius, prodigy, and he names his company like Prodigy as well, and
Of
he's
course.
like, yeah, he's like a 18, 19-year old who's like got a conglomerate with like, Apple type products and all this other stuff. And he's bloodthirsty for all these creatures and everything. Like, oh, you mean we can, and we got all these things for free? No, we can just start some human trials. And they're like, don't you think we should test this stuff out first? No, just bring the bodies in. Just let's get to it. I'm like, oh, this is gonna go well. And so you get some fun stuff in there. And the creature designs are really cool too. They have some really interesting stuff in there from the other alien types besides just the xenomorph. Like there's a creepy eye creature that reminds me of the Thing. It was really disturbing, and they make
Mm.
it a key throughout the show. Like it's watching things happen before things actually happen, just staring through test tubes and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen
It's
that.
really
People have like
gross.
broken it down. I've watched videos where they break it down because like it has some kind of intelligence. Like it's definitely intelligent. Like I don't know if it can communicate, but it's definitely like smart.
Oh, it's one of the best scenes in the show because it has a meeting with the prodigy, and he realizes he's like, I wish I could speak to you right now. I know you're smarter than they think you are. I can see right now that you got more going on here, but we don't speak the same language. But I know how it feels to be in a room full of people who I'm smarter than, and they not know the entire time. And I'm sure you feel that all the time here. But everyone else is dead. I was like, this is funny. It was ridiculous. But yes, I totally recommend the show because they go in a lot of different places that I think that haven't really been explored as much in some of the other parts of the universe, and just like the corporate side of things, the corporate greed, the idea of like the synthetic side, and like what happens because of the future being the way it was. He's basically trying to push towards like the idea of life being eternal and that being something you can sell to people, and like once we start figuring out how to get people's consciousness into these bodies, then we just upgrade their bodies and make them sell off their life on that end.
So are they able to do that, or is it like not perfect, or is it like still they're still trying to figure that out? Because you said they did it with kids, but are they like is it like more of like a copy instead of actually transferring the consciousness?
The consciousness gets transferred, and that's part of the show as well. Like they actually have those. They call it Neverland. So they bring the creatures to Neverland where these children are, but they're in full adult bodies now. But they're like the actors do a great job because you have like these adult actors playing kids basically throughout the show, and they're having like sticking boogers on each other and stuff, picking their
Mm.
nose and stuff like that throughout the just real kid stuff. But it's like stuff starts escalating because it gets the company wants to get those creatures back from Weyland Lutani and such. They started doing uh, different operations and trying to sneak onto the island and stuff like that. But yeah, the consciousness can get transferred. That kind of stuff happens. But um, keep in mind that like folks are also you're gonna outlive your family basically. The people that you left behind. You're put
Yeah.
into that body, and then you're gonna live way longer than anyone else you knew. So that becomes like a conflict of like interest. Like, do I really want to do this? And then know that I won't have anyone to actually remember from that time period. My mom or my dad or anyone else won't know me anymore afterwards. Or they can choose to wipe my memory if they want to, and say it was a software error. So that kind of control and is scary. Like that in itself was an interesting part of the show too. So it had some interesting questions. I thought it was like considering I went in with low expectations for the show overall. They go through a lot of different stuff that makes it interesting.
Yeah, the Alien franchise has gone through interesting ups and downs in terms of that stuff. The last movie was good up until like they keep going back to the engineer shit, and the engineer shit was just a little, I don't know, like no one, I don't think Ridley Scott ever meant to explain the origins of Alien. And so, like, when people pounded their fist and wanted origins, we got the engineers and we got the black goo, and it was very weird and eccentric and a little, what's the word I'm looking for? A little pretentious, like just, it was just very weird. It got very weird about lore that should have never been explained. But like, that's why, like, this show kind of piqued my interest. I'm like, cool, we're just gonna, like, they just have all these creatures. We don't know where they're from. We just know they're aliens. Right? We don't need to explain lore. Maybe they'll get there eventually, but like that's what makes part of that franchise scary is you don't know where the fuck they're from or where they are or who made them. It adds to the like the overall like just aesthetic of the themes and the
It was both scary because you don't know where they're from and stuff, but you also realize how quickly like these companies wanted to weaponize them.
yeah.
That they just move past any kind of like safety or scientific way of like making sure that this isn't gonna actually hurt the people around them. And then things just go to shit instantly. It's like, okay, well, you just could have gone differently if you weren't like trying to stick this alien creature into, when you see a face hugger on someone else's face inside of a capsule, and you're like, I wonder what these giant eggs are for. And then one opens up and starts killing people, and then you're like, you know what? Can we replicate that again, but this time in a safe environment? And then you do it again, and it doesn't work out the way you thought it was going to. Maybe we should start thinking a bit differently about this. But it's. But I was talking to somebody that like completely hated Prometheus, so the engineer stuff never was good for me. I
Yeah,
was like, this
likewise.
is
It's
not
just
going to
like,
do it for
why
me
is
at
this
all.
being explained? It doesn't need to be
Well,
explained.
are we
This
not
is
running out of the way of
pretentious
this
and weird.
giant circular, that still pissed me off. I'm like,
Wh-
just one to decide. Why are we getting smashed by this?
Prometheus
But
School of Running, as I've heard it referred to.
when does it take place, Denny? Like in terms of the alien timeline?
Isn't it like 100 years before Alien or something like that?
well, the thing is that like it's kind of like adjacent because Will and Utani already have the situation where there's the xenomorph is a thing in the same way, but on this end, uh, they know that some other things exist, and so they go back out for a second like venture, and they get those tapes and stuff back from um,
Nostromo?
I'm forgetting her name right now,
Nostromos.
but yeah, the Nostromo and everything. So they know that there's more out there, and then of course they're greedy, so they're gonna go back out for another trip. But there's so much time in between, so you follow like on both I want to say the second episode, and then like I want to say episode 5 or 6. You follow that squad that ended up getting sent out there. It was a 60-year trip, so basically they signed off like I'm gonna give 60 years of my life basically to become part of this and not get paid back in the credits or whatever. But they show like one of the crew members, and he's like writing letters to his daughter and stuff like that. And knowing that by the time he gets back, like she'll be in her 70s, and she's like 3. Like it's ridiculous. So like he's going on this trip, and they're like, okay, we're gonna bring these things back and everything else here, but the greed takes over so quickly that the Will and Tanya, everyone else involved, they keep saying it on the screen. They have like those those giant green lettered black background screens from like the 70s or whatever. They're supposed to be futuristic. It says crew expendable like 30 times on the screen. Every time something happens, they type like, should we keep going? Crew expendable. Bring back package every time. And it's like, all right, well, it says what it says. And then more people just keep dying, and you're like, oh, all right, well, as long as something makes it back as supposed to.
As long as
So
we get
like
the
it's a bit of
specimen,
that
the
mixture.
package is secured. This doesn't matter, right? Any means necessary. Yeah.
Yeah, just as long as that makes it back, on a body or in some form, parasitic or not, like bring that shit back here.
That's the interesting thing about this show too is watching the trailers and the clips. I haven't seen a lot of it, but like in alien lore, at some point the Earth gets destroyed, completely uninhabitable. Like it becomes like this wasteland, and I don't think it's ever explained why in the films. But I
Yeah,
feel like this TV show leads up to that. It kind of explains what's happened or leads up to that thing because
and
I
that's
know in the
like some of the
novels, the
interesting
books, it
too with
explains,
that.
but not in the movies. It doesn't explain why the Earth is a barren wasteland that can't really support life anymore.
I did find like the corporate stuff kind of interesting just because of how they talk about like they just call it the five, like the five companies at this point. It's just like just imagine like Google, Apple, and Microsoft like all owning different parts of the universe, basically like different
Yeah,
nations.
that's where we're going. Yeah.
And they're just like, yeah, you know, we own like the rights to like you breathing now. So therefore we have the rights to all this. So they split it up like that. So Prodigy is like one of those five companies now where this child genius basically came in, create all of this like, you know, nanotech and mixture of like, you know, the synthetic tech and everything else there. And then he's taking in like the swooping in of all these new ideas and taking off with it basically. Because it's like his child work is enough to like put their company onto the base measure where it's up there. And now he's seeing like these alien creatures and everything else. He's like, oh, we can reach new heights here. I can become a number one, and then that'll be like me before 25.
Oh
Like,
jeez.
I really like the look of the show, like the sets and stuff. The first episode where you're like in the interior of the ship, they've like replicated that like
oh
70s
yeah,
sci-fi aesthetic. It looks like a scene from Alien, like Ridley Scott straight up one to one. I thought that was super impressive. It's a very
it
good
was
looking show.
gorgeous. I
There's been
was
an
really impressed by
industrial
like
world.
just the
That
look of
world's
the
been very
show.
industrial. Like it's not like Star Wars fantasy. It's very industrial fantasy, science fiction.
It is indeed.
Yeah, something that always stuck with me, like all of the like white inside of the ships and stuff like that, and like they'd have like the weird like cushioned leather and stuff on, and there's like 60 million buttons everywhere. I'm like, there's no way you can reach all these buttons. They're on every ceiling and wall. Like, there's no one touching this button up here in the corner, but it's just there flashing. You're
Right.
like, come on now, guys. Like, but they're there. They're there in the show.
It looks good, Danny.
They're
That's
still
all that
there.
matters. It looks good.
Yeah,
It looks good on
yeah.
camera.
But yes, I highly
Nice.
recommend checking it out. You know, at least giving it a try. There's some things that are controversial because, of course, you know, any fan base is going to be upset about something.
Of course,
But it's worth
yeah.
being part of like some of that conversation too. Now that it's wrapped up, you know, you can hop in and check it out. See if
Okay.
you like it.
Cool. I will add finishing the show to my checklist of things to watch. Alien Earth, baby. I love the original Alien movies, so I want to see this through. Awesome. Thank you, Denny. Greg, did you want to jump in and do your Peacemaker review, or what else? Did you have anything else other than that?
Peacemaker, I think we watched. Yeah, that was like new.
Okay.
I loved it.
Yeah, I'd slide out for you guys.
All right. Take care. Thank you for coming.
Oh, later day. I thought Dave was gonna talk about it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if he.
And I have to check out
he might
Alien
have-
Earth because I was on the fence about that because of the Prometheus bullshit and the alien engineer crap that I've just hated over the last decade.
Right.
I loved it. Nicole liked it too. We really liked the show. I felt like the cast could be just a little more diverse, just a little bit more diverse, you know, like. But I did like it. I thought the themes were good. What's the Robert's God? What's the guy who plays Peacemaker's dad? Robert something. I should know his name.
I don't know his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, like he has a great line that stuck with me. So spoilers, if you haven't seen the show, you should watch it. But about like, you know, oh, you just have Germany come over here and like kill like everybody and you don't resist. And he has like a great like it's not a long speech, it's just a mini speech. It's a really like, I'm sorry, am I supposed to just fight all opposition that comes in like all the time? I'm only one person. I'm only human. Do you do that where you like it was just a really good line, and I felt like a lot of the themes in this placate to real life. Because when they introduced
Sure.
Argus in James Gunn's DCUO, like my experience with that in the comics has been Argus has always been bad. Argus has always been the bad guys, the bad dudes that come in and like do really shady black ops shit or like, you know, take metahumans, you know, underneath like, and like they were kind of good in the first season. I'm like, okay, interesting. Like they're doing spec ops to help the thing. So they go full evil in this one, obviously. And I thought that was kind of cool to see that switch being turned almost from like, oh, we're helping people to, oh no, I'm helping myself. And we're going to solve this crisis by any means necessary. But I love the casting's great. The writing's great. The fight scenes are great. I mean, sometimes themes and shows are hitting so close to home they make me feel uncomfortable. You know,
Sure.
like I feel like that, and that's a me problem. But like, you know, like it's obviously like a lot of writing is based off real life experiences, no matter who you are, right? There's always going to be a semblance of like your experiences making into the writing. And I felt like James Gunn, specifically since he did most of the writing for the second season, was looking around at the current climate that we're in, and that heavily inspired the season 2 of Peacemaker. Because there's a lot of same themes there. It's not just, for those of you who don't know anything about comics or haven't seen it yet, spoilers. Have you seen Donovan?
I've seen all but the last episode. I haven't finished it yet. I mean, you don't have to say what it is, Greg. We get your point.
So you saw the big reveal, though. Like the big reveal is that they're on Earth
yeah,
X.
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
the big reveal is they're on Earth X. If you follow DC Comics, Earth X is, and people will correct me if I'm wrong because it's been a while, but Earth X is like an infamous dimension that a lot of superheroes have gone to in the DC universe, where the Germans won World War II. That's basically what it was. So like they've taken over the whole world. Nazi and fascism is like reign supreme. They put all the minorities in camps. It's a terrible dimension. I've visited it several times reading the comics. I'm like, this sucks. They do it in this one. They do it very tactfully and very elegantly and smartly. Like you never see the camps, but like you just know they're bad just based on everyone. It's like one of those less is more things like is that I love to do in their TV show. You don't need to see everything, right? You could just a little bit of exposition, a little bit of side banter can explain a situation. So they do that really well because the show it's a relatively low budget, in terms of it looks gorgeous, but like it's not going to have a DCU film budget. I liked it. The characters are great. Side stories are great. Nicole liked it a lot too. Music's great. There's not much to really criticize about it. The ending's great, Donovan. You have to catch up. The ending's fantastic.
I need to finish the last episode. I'm on the last episode. I started it. I just need to finish the last episode. That's interesting though, Greg. I heard a lot of controversy about the last episode, so I'll have to finish it and hit you up and see what I think.
I mean, people don't like cliffhangers. Right, that's the big thing, and the big thing is that like James Gunn's like, oh, I'm not done with it, but the show's done, the show's over, so like it ended on a cliffhanger, which is people, but he's like, don't worry.
Well, that's
yeah, that's the thing.
That's the part of being in a connected universe is that the show could be over, but the storyline's not. Just because they'll probably show up in something. I bet you at least one of these characters will be in Superman 2 or something like there's ongoing storylines and stuff. But I've liked it so far. What I've watched. It's great. I think that this season specifically, John Cena has been so good. I mean, he's probably got the case now for the best actor or wrestler turned actor, I think.
Oh, dude, yeah,
very
he
talented.
Kills it. Like, he definitely kills it. Several
he
scenes where he has to get very
season.
serious and emotional, and he's not just being action badass hero. Like those are tough scenes.
Yeah, he plays that so well. Good show. I like Peacemaker.
The Eagle side plot was weird as shit. That felt really out of place. The only thing I didn't like about the show was like the Eagle Hunter.
Very James Gunn.
That was very okay. Like it was the only thing. Remember I talked about the gearboxes? The only thing that's not connected to anything else is that plot. That just you could rip that out of the movie and you fine. Everything's still the same, which is very weird. That's usually not something you see in a James Gunn film, like something that's just completely extra on the side that you don't need, but is there.
Yeah.
Oh, they
he likes
like
doing
annotations in their update. That's funny.
You said annotations in their update? What?
Yeah, see, because look, this is the back. So, I'm sorry, YouTube did like a major reconstruct yesterday, which is why it was down for like a few minutes.
YouTube is what you're talking about.
Yeah, so the end, you do these annotations like for subscribe and like next video, and they look like they're broken right now because they're not on this, or the person at DC forgot to do them. Highly unlikely. So that's interesting.
Sure. Nice.
But I love it. Highly recommend it. We got HBO Max subscription just to watch it. Although I was a little peeved that they wanted me to pay an extra $6 for 4K.
Of course.
I'm like, really?
That's why streaming was a mistake.
And really, dude? So I didn't. I just did the 1080, but it's just like, come on, man. Like, come on, HBO. Don't be dicks. Like you said, right? They just made like $1 billion off Minecraft. Like, don't be greedy. Don't be assholes. Don't be like Microsoft.
Streaming was a mistake. It's bad. But yeah, I'm aware. I hate all the like tiered stuff for quality. I think that's super shitty.
Are you gonna see Black Phone 2, Donovan?
I am gonna see Black Phone 2. Not tonight. Not this weekend, because I'm going to like a wedding party for the weekend in Washington D.C. But first thing next week, maybe Monday or Tuesday next week. Yeah, I can't wait. I love Black Phone, the first one. I think it's a very good movie. And the second one looks interesting. It's like a Freddy Krueger thing they're doing with the second one, which I like because New Line Cinema's not giving us a Nightmare on Elm Street movie anytime soon, so
You got it's the
Let's do it.
sequels are always interesting because like they can like become like jokes amongst themselves. Like with the Freddy and Jason series, both have done that. Like they've just gotten more like out there and crazy and more kills. Come on, bitch, let's do this. Like that kind of stuff. Like they've gotten. Do you think they'll do it with Black Phone? Do you think it'll be like a meme where he keeps just it's about the kills and he just becomes wild and crazy, vengeful spirit or something?
Yeah, I mean that's why they need to reboot it. I don't need they don't need to make Nightmare on Elm Street 8 or 9. They should just start over and give a new take on the franchise. But I think the rights to Freddy might also be in hell. I know Jason's are starting to finally crystallize, pun intended. But uh, Denny says, "Are you going to see Good Boy?" I want to. Good Boy is probably going to be a home watch. Greg, have you heard of this one, Good Boy?
Yeah,
It's
we
a
talked
horror
about the
movie.
show, the horror movie from the aspect of the dog, the viewpoint of the
Yeah,
dog.
from the dog's perspective. I think it's interesting. It sounds a little gimmicky. If you told me it was like a 15-minute short, I would have been all over it. Feature film, I'll watch it at home. I probably won't go to the theater for that, but I'll watch it at home.
I mean, it's
Marketing
different.
campaign
It's
for it's
different,
been
right?
good.
Like we talked about, it's different. It's unique, right?
It's a
It's
fun
crowded
concept.
space.
It's a fun
Yeah.
concept. Yeah, I like it. And it's going to. I mean, I hope for the sake of the humanitarians around the world that the dog lives. I mean, if they kill the dog in the dog horror movie, people are gonna be really upset. But we'll see. I'll watch it at home probably.
Analysts say people do not like it when animals get kills in movies. That's the big thing. They do not like that.
They don't. It's hard to watch. It's really upsetting. So we'll see. I'm not gonna watch it in theaters though. It'll be an at-home watch. Black Phone. I'm watching that bad boy in a theater. Dude, this fucking kid's grown up so fast. Mason Thames, I think is his name. He's the main kid in this. He's like 12 in the first movie. He's like such a little kid in this one. He looks like he's my age. He's like a grown ass fucking adult now. And the first Black Phone came out like 4 years ago. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Ethan Hawke is a murderous child abductor.
It's the
Fascinating role
first
for
one on
him.
HBO. It's a Warner Brothers, right? Or is it's New Line? So
It
New
should be
Line-
on HBO Max.
All right, we'll have to
Yeah,
watch.
it's
You
WB.
gave me 3 recommendations, and Nicole said no to 2 of them, both of them. She's like, I don't want to watch the Demi Moore one. She's like, I don't want to watch that. I showed her companion. She's like, I don't know, it looks weird, and I'm like, okay, well, like
It looks weird. Well, you said Demi Moore. What's the you said-
the stuff
hold on.
or the what's it called, the Clayface
the
feed-
substance?
Yes,
Did I recommend the substance?
I think so.
I don't.
Check your Discord.
I said the menu, Nope, Companion, and No One Will Save You.
Okay, you did.
I recommend the substance.
We've
The
seen
su-
the menu.
Okay, the menu is good. Have you seen? You said you should recommend. What about No One Will Save You? That's a Hulu one though. You guys don't have Hulu. Nope is great if you haven't seen Nope.
Is that
Jordan
HBO?
Peele. It's Universal. It's Peacock.
Oh,
It's on the cock.
I don't think we have it anymore, but we can check.
Yeah. So there's some options. The Substance I didn't recommend because The Substance is really weird. That movie is really fucking weird. I don't know. I like it, but it's hard to recommend to everybody because it's
I read
unless
the,
you're
I-
super
I
on
read
board.
the synopsis, and I'm like, oh, it's Feet of Clay, and it's a Feet of Clay is an Academy Award-winning episode of Batman where Clayface becomes Clayface. I'm like, oh, it's Feet of Clay. I've seen
Yeah.
this movie.
You would you would like it for the effects. The practical effects in The Substance are some of the craziest I've seen in the last few years on film. It's really gnarly. It's a gnarly looking ass movie.
I was trying to find, like, I'm shocked that movie Together hasn't made its way onto the vertical feed because like I've been wanting to see a scene from that to see if it's disturbing, and like I can't find it anywhere.
There's a couple scenes in it that are disturbing. It's not as outwardly gross as The Substance is, but it's got its moments where I'm like, oh.
It doesn't help that like there's
definitely a
another
few.
movie. There's like 2 other movies called Together that are not horror movies. So this is the 3rd movie being called Together, and you can't find it anywhere. So I've been trying just to find. I just want to see a scene. I want to see one scene of the effects, the visual effects.
Yeah. Danny makes a good point that they're making a Clayface movie too. That's also coming out in like a couple of years. Yeah, DC. It's true. Very true.
And if it's James Gunn, he'll do Hagen or Carlo, and he'll probably do like the full because there's different. We're gonna nerd out for a minute here because there's different versions of Clayface Donovan, and they're
it already started filming. It's not James Gunn directing it, but he's producing it because he runs DC Studios. But yeah. Also, Greg, you said DCUO earlier, which is DC Universe Online, which is the video game. Which I thought was funny. But yeah, that's I think that's everything we got for you this week, folks, on Pop Goes the Culture. We're gonna be back next week. I've said that I've been really bad this year, Greg. I have a lot of times where I say we'll be back next week, and then we're just not back next week.
No,
I think
I might not
Thursday,
be here next week.
October 23rd.
Hold
Are
on.
you going somewhere for thing? Are you in Seoul, Cal?
Yeah, hold on. Which is
You
crazy
are.
because Are you on
according
this
to
on
the Shack.
already?
According to the Shacknews calendar, the
Yeah, then
23rd you
I'm
leave.
gone.
You'll be
It was
gone.
either Thursday or Friday. We leave. I think it's Thursday.
Okay, well, we'll see you on the 30th for a Halloween episode. Maybe I'll put on my Ghostface costume or something. Um, for our next one, it'll be our last episode
I'm wearing. I'm
before
basically
spooky
wearing my
time.
Ghostbusters suit like every weekend this month. Like we have an event we're going to. So like this weekend is a
That's fun.
festival, and then next weekend's we're leaving. I don't know. We're leaving, but the weekend after that for Halloween, we're going to a bar crawl.
Ooh, that's fun. Halloween bar crawl is really fun. I want to do that this year. We were supposed to do one last year. Also, I like getting multiple uses out of a Halloween costume. It just feels good. I used to do that a lot when I was younger too. I'll just run the same ones back. Very famously, Greg, when I was a little kid, I went as two different costumes in one night. I couldn't decide, so I wore both. I did like one lap around the neighborhood as one costume, came home, changed, did another one,
What did you?
and
What
my
did you
mother
do? What did you
supported
do?
me. Okay, it's hard because the passage of time, my memory is faded. I think
You have
one
to know
half
if you
I
changed.
was.
You've got. I mean, I remember the costumes that I wore growing up.
Well, here's the thing. I remember the costumes I wore, but I'm trying to remember the two that night. I think one was the Hulk. I think it was the Hulk one time, where I just had like green shirt, purple shorts, and then like the glove, like the toys. It's clobbering, not clobbering. That's the thing. Sorry, Hulk smash. Um, and then I think I did the Blue Power Ranger the same night, which that was just like a costume. They just pulled the thing over, and it was just a blue
Oh, it's like the
Power Ranger
leotard with
costume.
like
Dying
the
nothing.
plastic mask. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that.
See, I
Yeah, I
came
think I
from a
just did
generation
both.
that they didn't really have a lot of really like ready to use disposable costumes, so we had to make everything ourselves. Like we had to make the Daredevil outfit, we had to
Mm,
make the Batman outfit, we had to make the Captain America outfit. I was always superheroes. Spider-Man. I was always superheroes.
sure. Yeah, we never got to that always sounded fun to me as a kid, but I'm not a craftsy type of person. My mom is, but even then we always bought costumes. The closest I had to a DIY costumes, I almost said a DEI costume, was when I was Spider-Man. I had like the Spider-Man costume and it was like the web wings, but I didn't have a mask. So instead my mom painted my face red and painted the lines, like the black lines,
Dude,
and then like the white around my eyes. And I still have a picture where I'm like sitting in her lap and I'm like, I must be like bored or tired. I'm like sitting there, but I've got like the full Spider-Man like makeup painted on my face. Um, Great. I'll have to dig that one out before Halloween. But yeah, TJ says I have a bathrobe, bed pants, a beard, good sunglasses, and raggedy hair. Instant the dude from Big Lebowski costume every year. Yeah,
easy.
you gotta have a go-to. You gotta have something that you can like put together that like you said, Greg, like a Ghostbusters. Just like if I told you, oh shit, we're doing a Halloween brunch tomorrow, like something you can just yank out that you've already got, whether it be a costume or just an outfit you can turn into a costume, like TJ said. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I have Jedi robes from high school that I can still put on and wear if I want to be Mace Windu. I told people I was Obi-Wan Kenobi. Everyone asked if I was Mace Windu. So there you go.
Something I'll never
Um, that's
I'll never be able to understand, unfortunately. I mean, he's gonna be like, when they do it in Stranger Things too, right? They show up, they're like, no, you were supposed to be Venkman. They're like, no, you were supposed to be Winston. Oh, because I'm
yeah,
black? Like,
yeah. I remember that it was character day. I was like, I'm gonna be fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi, like Jedi Master. If people were like, yeah, you're Mace Windu, I was like, well,
I'm pretty sure
that
that's
works too.
racist. I'm pretty sure that falls
I
category to
like
racist.
I like Sam Jackson.
Yeah,
Sure,
you
why
just gotta
not?
be like, oh, what Jedi
Uh,
are you? Is the question they should have asked if they were popular, you know?
you know, you would think, but no, I was General Kenobi. And with that, I'll either do that costume again or maybe Ghostface again for a Halloween episode. I'll figure out something. Like Danny said, I'm not bald. I had a full head of hair, especially back in high school. I had a freaking
I
mohawk.
could just see
Um,
those old white ladies. Oh, we have a young Mace Windu.
I had a teacher. She was I had a forensics class,
Not a good
Greg.
segue. Go ahead.
No. This is bad. The class was forensics. And she was a Jawa on character day, and I was uh Obi-Wan Kenobi, of course. So we took a picture with each other, and she like crouched down, and like her suit made her look really short because she like dropped the like front part of it down, so it was just dangling. And it looks like I'm just standing next to like an actual Jawa. It was a pretty good. I saw the picture somewhere. I'll dig all this out for Halloween episode. I got 2 weeks
Is
to look
is,
through my
is the
camera roll.
caption me and Mace Windu? So bad. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah. No, that's fine. But we'll do something. We'll do something fun, or maybe we'll do like a scary movie, like trivia game or something. We'll have to do some sort of celebration if we're gonna do
Ooh,
an
the
episode on
trivia thing
October
might be
30th.
fun. That might be fun. Halloween for
Yeah,
like scary movie trivia, horror trivia.
yeah.
I
I
could
love
bring my
scary
super fucking old
movies.
80s knowledge, and you could bring your semi old millennial knowledge.
Yeah, my zillennial expertise.
I was
as
like,
they
hope
call
you like
us.
20 questions about Jennifer's body. 'Cause that's gonna be...
Megan Fox, baby. All right. Well, with that, I think we're going to go ahead and close out episode 174 of Shacknews Presents Pop Goes the Culture. I am Donovan. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Denny. And thank you, TJ, Arm Squires in chat. Appreciate you. And yes, Denny, you're probably right about that. But you'll find out in a couple weeks when we return for another episode of Pop Goes the Culture. Bye bye.